Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Goin with Roen. I'm Amanda. I'm here with Josh. He's going to be showing us how to install a kitchen backsplash this week. So he's going to walk us through all the steps of tiling and getting it completed from start to finish. Let's go.
Our backsplash, part one. Part one is this side of the wall up until about here. We're doing just a simple subway tile close together up till here, just to kind of guard against the sink water. Just white grout, really try not to see it, just as protection with the sink. One thing when you're doing tile is you want to make sure that you, before you start setting them, that you put one out each way, all the way down, to make sure that when you get to your ends that you don't have little nubs, that you actually have something like at least a half a pile or so. So I already did that, and if I start here in the middle, then it'll bring it equal out, and the ends won't be little slivers. You don't want to be tiling slivers. These are level. These are about $79. They're very handy though when doing tile. You don't have to get your level all filled with mud and constantly cleaning it. But this will make sure your lines are level and keep you on track. It's kind of cool. You shut your light off. Trying to see. Sometimes it's helpful to do that. So we'll get started with the first round. I'm just going to put a little bit of, I almost need a little smaller tool than this, but that's all I got. Put a little mortar on there. So we do the groove. You could do it up either way. And then we also put it on the tile, like so. Called back buttering. Butter the tile, put a little notch the opposite way. We are going for a look with very little grout line. So we're actually butting it right up against it, and it'll be just a tiny grout line, which we're going to do white. We're doing very minimalist look. We have pretty, for the most part, most of our first row done, except for the two little end pieces. I use the laser level to make sure that that's level, and then I'll continue using that just to make sure it stays level. So I'm going to start with the second row here shortly. A little bit more up here and just keep going along. These tiles, by the way, if you first time using tiles, this is a good one to pick. They're like really easy to work with. Really, the smallness of them are really easy to like keep it looking good. They're really easy to cut. You can cut with the manual cutter over there. These are little beveled ends. Kind of give it a finished look at the top. I need to cut a piece even with this. I didn't really mean to have the grout there, but it'll work. So just lining it up, and then a little square, keeping it straight, and then take it over to the little cutter. All right, so I'm gonna take it over to the little cutter and line it up. You're just pushing down and pushing forward at the same time. And then once you do that, it scores it. And then come back and break it. Alright, so I have that little piece in. And then they do sell these little corner pieces. making that turn. So you have a finish edge all the way around, and then we go down like that here, just so it has a finished look. The other thing you can use in this situation, they're called Purdy sticks, and they actually like slide underneath the grout. It would hold it, or with a screw, and you could use these. But if I have the option of getting the bull nose, I like those better. But you can use them. All right, so this last section here requires that we cut long ways, which that manual tile cutter doesn't work very well, going a little sliver off, so we got to use the tile saw. So here's the first one we did. It actually cuts pretty clean, and then we're gonna go out and cut some tile saw. Typically it's not a good idea to work at an angle, but I don't care, so I'm doing it.
Badass.
The pan that my brother gave me doesn't quite fit the thing, so it's okay. And then the water pump that usually puts water at the blade is broken, so my water pump is Amanda. So
Teamwork.
key is to improvise when needed.
So what am I gonna you want to talk a little bit about the water?
So you're just gonna pour water, try to pour water close to where the blade's cutting. The good thing is, again, the ceramic cuts really easy anyway, so it doesn't cause a whole lot of heat, really.
Not a lot of friction.
Yeah. So once you're done cutting, go smooth. Cut. Back butter again. Missing a little thing. Make sure we have a little bit of room in there for grout. So I used this to put the grout in and let it sit for about 10 minutes, depending on the grout, depending on how long you can let it sit. This grout's pretty forgivable. And then with a sponge, I wiped it off, and then I wiped it off again with the sponge. Make sure you rinse your sponge with every wipe, or flip it. Otherwise you're just smearing grout all over the place. And then the last wipe off, I'm using a microfiber rag. Just lightly went across it. Don't go too hard, because you could possibly pull the grout out. And let it dry overnight. And then you can use a grout sealant. This comes in a little bottle. I'm gonna plan on using, just because grout isn't waterproof, so you gotta put something on it. So that's it.
Thanks again for tuning in to this week's episode of Goin with Roen. Don't forget, if you have a question for a future episode, please let us know. We want to be your go-to real estate information source. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you all for your support, your likes, comments. We appreciate the love, and it's completely mutual. So see you guys next time. Bye. Thanks again for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next week on Goin with Roen.